Good evening, everyone. KermMartian here, back with Train Simulator 2017. This is episode 24, or KermMartian Live number 13. That's not strictly true because there's a KermMartian live stream that I did 2 days ago that I'm going to leave out. But for now, we will call this number 13. Good morning, engineer. Welcome to your first day on the Morristown line. You're on board this ALP 46 bound for Dover out of New York Penn. Your journey will take you as far as Summit in the first part of this service. Please let passengers board here before departing. So I will let passengers board here before departing. Now, in KermMartian Live number 13, the first one, the one that you will never see unless you were here for the stream, I was getting the most horrible lag, frame lag, graphics card lag in Penn Station with slightly higher graphics settings. So I have set my graphics settings down to super duper low. Hello, ALP 46 friend. Like about 1 or 2 frames per second low. So for this particular version, my graphics will not be super great, but there we go. We will see how it goes anyway. Also, I don't see my live chat, so if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna pause and see where my live chat has gone. See if I can turn that back on and get some live chat going here. There we go, this little black box there. So if you guys are saying anything, I will see it. I have hopped on the stream without really warning anyone, just because I wanted to get this up and running. Release our brakes, notch 2, and off we go. Hopefully we have our signal. I didn't actually see a signal out there. Yep, we have the signal. Green over red. Clear to the main line. So, how have you all been since my last Train Simulator 2017 video? I hope all has been well. Hello, John Bush. I am just getting started with the scenario that went rather poorly last time when I had much FPS lag, and then there was a speed limit that was not well marked, and or I missed the marking for it. So I lost many points and got some negative 3,500 points, I think. Today it's going to go better though. We're going to watch the speed limits. We're going to watch for speed limit signs. We're going to be very careful, and because I have turned the graphics way down, we're going to have a good frame rate. We are obviously on the new North Jersey coastline, the one with the Morristown branch, a route that I have taken many a time in real life, mostly to visit Geekboy1011, who is here in Train Simulator 2017 episode 23 / KermMartian Live number 12. That was where Geekboy1011 and I were narrating while we drove the CPR R1 to Brighton. Can't watch school tomorrow? See ya, Conrail guy. Have good school tomorrow. Thank you. Those are good goals. I agree. You should fix your sound pie, man. We're about to speed. We are speeding. We are losing a little bit of points. It's always twitchy coming out of Penn Station because we start to go down the hill here. That should do it. Not too bad. Not too bad so far. It's not me, it's you. That's harsh. Doesn't that usually mean it is you? Negative 25. Oof. Alright. Let's do this right. So we have the tunnel under the Hudson River to go through for about 2 or 3 miles before we will emerge on the New Jersey side. And then our first stop is going to be Secaucus Junction in just 4.4 miles. Get our speed up in our ALP 46, our all-electric version of the ALP 45 dual-mode locomotive, as somebody, I think it was Pieman actually, asked me about last time. Just keeping an eye on my speed here. I would like to get a good score. And also be on time. That was the other thing that went rather poorly. I started being very late to stations. So I'd like to do a little better this time. This is supposedly an easy scenario, but I found it to not quite be so last time. Keeping my eye on the brakes there. Alright, we're going up the hill now, so throttle up. Still accelerating a little bit, which is fine. 59. I have many things to tell you guys about, like the circumstances in which I was playing with trains yesterday. Big, nice, fun IRL trains. I will definitely do so, John Bush. I will definitely do so once we get this solidly underway, as long as I can narrate without distracting myself too much and having everything go terrible. Yes, the frame rate is much better today. I left it on the low graphics settings that we had last time. I suspect we might have just fallen into some kind of weird pathological issue with Train Simulator. I think I could probably turn it up slightly and still be okay, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk it indeed. We're going up a pretty solid 1.2% incline coming out of this tunnel. 0.87 miles left to the tunnel. Keeping my eye on that speed. Go down to notch 2. Nope, losing too much speed at notch 2. Notch 4 it is. Half a mile to the end of the tunnel. I think I see the light at the end of the tunnel there, so to speak. And that'll also put us in a 75 zone, so that'll be nice. We seem to be maintaining our speed beautifully at notch 4, going up this now 1.3% incline. Woof. I'm going to put us into notch 5. We're accelerating a little too much. Back to notch 4. Oof, frame rate is suffering ever so slightly here as it loads up the next section. And welcome to New Jersey, 10 a.m. on this summery, perhaps, day. We're losing speed. Now we're going up a 2% incline. Woof. Wow. I apologize in advance for all the aliasing on things like the catenary wire. That is due to me turning the graphics way down to preserve frame rate. Alright, we're in a 75, so I can accelerate even more. We can get some speed! My throat's feeling a little sad, so I'm going to try not to shout power and speed too much this time. Tempting though it may be with all the Top Gear I've been watching of late. Alright, I think full power is the way to go here. Let's get a little look at our train. We have our Alp 46 in front here, followed by 6 bi-level coaches. There we go. In that surprisingly nice blue, magenta, and orange New Jersey Transit livery. I'm really surprised how much I like that, because I wouldn't expect myself to love those colors together as much as I do. Secaucus Junction coming up. Let's start watching our braking. This is no self-lapping on these brakes. So give us some pressure and lap it so we can start bringing the speed down. Not enough. More pressure and lap. I want to enter the station going at about 37, as I tend to try. We're not going slow enough at all. Lap that. Now we seem in good shape. Much better. I'm going to release some of that pressure, actually. More of the pressure. I'll just give it a little lap there. We have to be here at 11:15. We are 10:11:15. We're about 15 seconds late now. So the speed, the timetable is very tight on this particular scenario. Very tight indeed. We're going to have to do fast acceleration and fast braking. Let's get ourselves stopped here. We're now 30 seconds late. Doors open. Release our brakes. Well, we'll try to release our brakes. I think it won't let us while the doors are open. Hello, Tom Pugh. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to have you with us this evening. This time we are in America, taking the Morristown line from New York Penn, in theory, all the way to Dover, although this particular part of the scenario only goes as far as Summit, and I will only be driving part 1 of this scenario tonight, therefore. So tomorrow or another day in the near future, I will be driving the Summit to Dover portion. Alright. Doors are closed. Brakes are released, in theory. There we go. Once the doors are closed, they actually release. I am doing something not great, which is putting us in notch 5 while our brakes are still releasing. But the timetable is tight enough here that I feel like that's necessary. Notch 6. Watch our power go off the scale, 407 amps that we're pulling. Got another nice little train over to our left there. And let's go for full power. because we're in a 90 zone, and our next stop we are estimated to be already a minute and a quarter late for, which can't be right. This is going to be a really tough one today. So what is new? What is new since the last video that I actually published, which was last Saturday night when I was here with Geekboy1011. Yes, I will tell you about how I was moving subway trains and trolleys around yesterday and electrifying some track in real life. That was pretty fun. We've got a 60 coming up, followed by a 90. I hope this is not where there's a surprise speed limit. I'm going to have to remember where that was exactly. Let's get our power off and start slowing down for that 60. That should do it. Going across a nice little bridge here. Always a good screenshot opportunity when we're crossing bridges. Nice. Screenshots. Screenshots for days. Many things are happening in the world, from mostly terrible tragedies. Luckily, nothing quite too significant in the world of trains that I'm aware of. Let me know if you guys are aware of anything particularly interesting in trains. Yes, so far so good. 2 nights ago. Last night I got home sufficiently late from playing with the trains that I didn't actually do the stream I wanted to do. I planned to do it yesterday, but I'm doing it today instead. Alrighty, we're still estimated to be a minute late to Newark, which is rather unfortunate. See if we can get our speed down with just dynamics. Yep, we're good. Oh, son of a gun. The son of a gun. This is where the surprise 45 is. Train simulator. Why do you do this to me? Why? Yeah, really. Yeah, Pie Man is from Las Vegas, so pretty sad stuff there. I'm super tempted to try that over again, because that's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Did I miss a mark? I mean, did I miss a sign for that? Because that surprise 45 keeps popping up for me. I feel like there should be a warning for that. And still estimated to be a minute late despite all that. That is a very annoying speed limit. Either I'm missing a sign for it, or we're about to start speeding, or I'm missing a signal for it, and I'm not sure which. Thank you. I did not either. I suppose that's just one thing you learn about the route, but it still should be posted. We've got a 55 coming up. Let's get our speed down for that. That was a little enthusiastic. Whoa, why were you accelerating? Ah, because I'm holding the accelerator down. Weird how that works. Fully autonomous freight trains in Australia. Well, that's not so fun. I mean, it's great from the perspective of, you know, automation and stuff, but not so fun from a I want a job driving freight trains perspective. Well, I think I'd prefer to drive passenger trains. Now we have the mysterious who even knows what speed limit it is coming up. That subsequently goes away. Then a 30, or at least gaining a little time. Nearly at Newark Broad Street, not to be confused with Newark's Penn Station, which is where we usually go when we're on the North Jersey coastline. Now we get to glide in here at 30 miles an hour. We've made up a little bit of time, which is nice, at the cost of about 1,000 points. John Bush, there's also a lot of very interesting ethical dilemmas around self-driving cars with the same sort of issues of, you know, what happens if the car decides that it should crash into somebody in order to avoid a larger loss of life, or even kill its occupant in order to save pedestrians, for example. So that is quite an interesting thing. At least with freight trains, it's pretty clear that you're not supposed to be on the tracks when a freight train is coming, hopefully. Here we are coming up to Newark Broad Street at a sedate 30 miles an hour. Beautiful. Doors are open. That's one way to do it. I don't think I've ever done a stop that way before. Asimov's laws of robotics are pretty solid. Pretty solid indeed. That's not a bad idea. Let's see if I can give us a start from out here. Watch us head off. Almost time for us to depart. Our next stop is going to be Brick Church, I think, if I recall correctly. Time limit bonus, go by East Orange. Notch 4, let's call it, and off we go. Notch 5. I think Brick Church is where we actually stop after the go via East Orange. And this time I'm not going to make an error with what's go via and what is stop at, so we're not going to, you know, fail the scenario, and we're also not going to be late. Full power, I think. Well, only up to 30 miles an hour. Yes, there have, like the one in iRobot, where it ends up getting interpreted as the betterment of humanity, for which individual humans' lives need to be sacrificed. So yeah, some very interesting quandaries around the 3 laws. Come on, let's get our speed up. This is ridiculous. We have places to be, and it's estimating us being there 2 minutes late. That's rather disappointing. And we have a 35 coming up. New Jersey, you kill me. I'm not sure why it thinks we're going to be there so late, though. We seem to be doing okay. Oh, I guess not. Yeah, we need to be there in 1:15. And speeding. Luckily we're on a hill, so all is well. I'm not too worried about the points at this point. Thanks to that fun little surprise 45-mile-an-hour zone when we were going 75. we need to be there in 15 seconds, and we have 0.7 miles to go. That's not happening. We can go up to 60 at least. So I should tell you about my trains yesterday. Now, I should preface this with, I didn't actually get to drive any of the trains myself yesterday, to my disappointment. I did basically lead a couple of subway trains around by their cords, which was rather amusing, and which I look forward to explaining what that actually means. It was pretty surreal to be basically leading subway cars around by a wire. Almost at East Orange, by the way, and only about 30 seconds late. Not the minute and a half it had estimated for us. Going via East Orange, timeliness bonus. Let's get that speed up. Although we do have to stop at Brick Church very shortly. Cab car. That train had its cab car in motion, and it's up 46 at the back. Very nice. We're due here at 24:30, so we're actually not that late. Nice sudden stop. I like it. And I say sudden, you know, a solid stop. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Doors. No brakes. Hey, I said doors. There we go. Here we are at Brick Church. A little bit simplified from what the real Brick Church actually looks like. Not bad. Not bad. And we worked on electrifying that track. So we worked on unspooling a 10,000 pound spool of catenary wire and tensioning it, and a little bit of tensioning, you know, laying it out, then starting to hang it up over the track. Off we go. And unfortunately, my colleagues and I had to head out before we actually finished the tensioning, fully finished the tensioning part of things. I hope they will get to finish that yesterday, today, or next weekend. I'm hoping to go back sooner than, you know, not. The last time I was there working on the trains with them was a year ago. We were working on ripping up some old track that they needed to relay. And it was far too long a time in between. Alright, so let's see if I can start at square one. So, I'm not going to say exactly where this train museum is, although you can probably figure it out, you know, for various reasons. But anyway, I went to a train museum with my friends. We've been there many times before. We know somebody who works there. He is knowledgeable about trains, electronics, electrical engineering, all that good stuff. Do we have to stop at Orange? We have to stop at Orange. So he is always happy. He seems happy to have our help. We try to do a good job and actually help out, not just be there to gawk at the trains. It's part of why I don't mention where it is. Sorry, I'm just keeping my eye on our train here. So we got there, we rode a trolley in from where this museum starts into where we were actually helping. You know, shot the breeze for a little bit, as you do. Pardon my lapses, so to speak, while I do this properly. That should do it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We are almost on time. Amazing. Looks like I'm overhanging this local a little bit, but no big deal. Can we stop, please? Hello? Where are we going? I don't know what's going on here. My brakes seem to be failing. That was weird. That was really strange. I have us in full service braking. Oh, yeah. full service braking, and Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the first coach of today's New Jersey Transit train, we ask that you quickly step back to the second coach and detrain, for our brakes appear to have temporarily failed. Thank you for your patience. Off we go. Notch 4 while we wait for the brakes to release. That's good for our motors and our brakes. There we go. Oop, that was a little abrupt. Let's not go into full service yet. For we will wheel slip. Yeah, so our first task of the day was to move a bunch of trains and trolleys. We moved a New York City subway R9 train from the 1940s. We moved a pair of trolleys. We moved a work car that's basically just a thank you, just a motor and a trolley pole on wheels. What else did we move? That was about it that we had to move from one track to the other. Now, remember, this section isn't electrified yet, so we were moving trains that require electricity on tracks that do not have electricity. Do we have to stop at Highland Avenue? We do not. That's good, because I couldn't stop there in time. That would be tight anyway. So the way that we had to do that is basically connect our trains to extension cords, which is exactly as fun as it sounds. Yes, exactly as fun as it sounds. So we had to have one person over near where the overhead wire actually is for the trains, a long, thick cord running to where the trains actually were. We're about to start speeding. And then we had to connect up their pantographs, or in this case, trolley poles, to the electricity. So we'd have this long, thick wire with 600 volts DC running through it. We have to go via mountain so we can speed through mountain. We would hang this big copper hook over the trolley pole on the car that we were going to move. We would radio for the guy who was over by the tracks to hang his big metal hook over the trolley wire, and then we would basically walk these subway trains along at 3 or 4 or 5 miles an hour until they got to the track where the electricity was, for one case, or in another case, just pull it onto another track where we could store it temporarily. The goal was to entirely clear one track so we could start hanging trolley wire above it. Yes, some of them are New York City subway trains and some of them are trolleys. The New York City subways operate on third rail 600 volts DC, and trolleys generally operate on about that as well. Time to start doing some stopping. So they've simply fitted trolley poles on top of the subway cars and everything works well. It's weird to be holding a wire in which... Whoa, we're speeding. Oh, yeah, substantially. Why are my brakes failing? I don't like this. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure I'm just doing something silly, but hold on. Story will continue after we stop here. Come on. Alright, whole train is on. Let's brake. Brake. Come on. Come on. Come on, let's not roll through the station again. Let's not roll through the station again. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stop. 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 So annoying. So remember from a previous video, I think I mentioned that... What is happening right here? What's going on with these brakes? Look at this. I'm literally on full dynamic braking and I'm still creeping. That's super strange. Something's up with the brakes on this train. Well, our first car is totally off the platform, but the HUD doesn't think so. The HUD thinks our first car is on the platform. But, whatever. Alright. Yeah, I think when I'm switching to the third-person view, that it's just forgetting that I'm applying brakes and letting me roll, which is super strange. I'm sure that they make generators you can pull behind trolleys. That would be super useful, but for the sake of this project, it was only like, I don't know, 300 yards, 400 yards from the track with the power to where the trolleys and subway cars actually were. So we simply connected them up and it was fun. Off we go. So then afterwards, since we had the track clear, we were all set to first lay out some wire. So we have this, they have this 10,000 pound spool of very, very thick, smooth notched wire that you use for catenary and trolleys. And we first pulled out, you know, like a 300 or 400 meter yard length of it. Actually, that seems like too much. Let's call it 200 yards maybe. Laid it out. Then we had to drive over a line car that we could use, which is an interesting wooden car with a platform on top. We did not actually end up using that for running the wire, but it had all the tools we needed in it, so we drove that over from where it was stored to where we were going to be working. And we also drove down a track car, a little diesel propane powered car with a crane on another little flat car that we used to actually hang the wire. So our host at the museum went up in the basket of the little craney thing, and we passed him insulators, nuts, bolts, big thick wire, and wire ties, and he basically tied up the trolley wire on pre-existing wire that had been laying across the track on, you know, poles that you put wire on. I also told him about CPR-1 in very broad terms. Oops, let's not go into handle off. That's not what we want. And I left this braking way too late. Not way too late, a little too late. A little more brakes. As I mentioned in my last video, the one that you guys on YouTube will not see, but my good friends here on the stream have seen, I have a college professor from when I went to college who lives in Maplewood. I see his updates on Facebook, the Book of Faces. Is Facebook the many-faced God? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm gonna stay inside our diesel this time. Our electric. I keep forgetting this is not a diesel. This is a purely electric locomotive, the Alp 46, so that we don't end up with that weird problem again. 2 miles an hour, 1 mile an hour, 0 miles an hour, and doors. Come on. I guess we're standing in a stairwell. Let's get out of our stairwell. Here we are at Maplewood. That side is boring. Let's stay on this side. Yeah, nice. Anyway, yeah, so we got the wire hung all the way back to the barn where we had emptied the track. I hear a train. Is that the one that was across the platform leaving? That's precisely what it is. Almost time to leave, so let's release our brakes, in theory. Time limit is penalty. Ooh, we are sufficiently late that we are getting penalized. That's not good. That's what happens when I have to wait an extra 30 seconds for my brakes to stop at a station. Next stop is Millburn, track 1. I think Millburn is our second to last stop before Summit, possibly. So we're really moving along today. Really moving right along. Actually, that can't be right, because this is supposed to be a 45-minute scenario, and I've only been driving for about a half hour. Full power, I think. Speed! And as I said, we had to depart before the wire was more permanently attached up on the cross wires connected to the telephone pole-like poles. I suspect they have a more correct name that I'm currently forgetting. Let's not go too much over 60 for that upcoming 60. Hello, train. As I said, we have to, 60 miles an hour and all that. Lap a little bit of air. That's good. Then we'll have to get down to the 30. I'm going to keep an eye on my signals too. Lap some more air for the 30. Ooh, this is going to be tight. But doable. As I said last time, I think that highway over there is just a little bit enthusiastically graded. I don't think that highway goes down quite that quickly. That doesn't seem right. Let's look forward. We are in a 30, so we can merge safely back onto the main line. And then we need to stop at Millburn, where we are estimated to be over a minute late. So that's happening. Let's get ready to start braking. Lob some air. Come on. That's interesting. It's making me service, and then relap in order to get... Oop, no, not that, not that. Hold on, not yet, not yet, not yet. We're not all on the platform. You know what? In the interest of time, we're going to open the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, this time it's the turn of you guys in the last coach. Because we're in a hurry, we ask you to move up. Actually, if you're in the last two coaches of today's train, you should head up to the third car from the back. Ooh, I can stand in the aisle. That's exciting. That is not a correct sign. That is not what those signs look like. Not far off, though. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. You look... That looks like a British mustache. We've got a plus 61 points, so we got a penalty there for being late, but oh well. Now let's really hoof it from here. The East Coast is pretty cool. It's a good place to be. I like it. It's too bad you don't live closer to us. Damn it, Pie Man. She just had a slightly low-cut top combined with low polygons. That is serious super elevation. Let's come out here so we can watch our super elevated train and also take screenshots. Yeah, gotta love super elevation. That's when the track is tilted like that so that you don't feel the effects of centripetal force quite as much. A little bit more power to go up this hill, I think. Next stop is Short Hills. We should be there already. We are not. Oh, that's a nice little church over there. Very nice. Nicely rendered. A little bit simplified in the geometry, but nice. Short Hills looks like a short platform indeed. This is going to be fun. Oh, I was saying earlier, and I totally interrupted myself after about 3 words. If you remember from a previous video, you can't use dynamic brakes when you're going slowly because dynamic brakes are increasingly effective the faster you're going because they apply the electricity being generated by the motors actually turning in reverse to make the motor stop. Too exciting. Too excited with the stopping. Let's actually get the whole train on this time. And we're a minute late. Over a minute late. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Whole train on the platform, please. And thank you. There we go. Brakes, brakes, brakes. More brakes. Even more brakes. Lap the brakes. 3, 2, 1. Stop. Cool. Train Simulator. Great question. I think the base game, you know, this is the... I'm not going to say what it is, but the model of get you hooked on it for cheap and then make you buy all the content. So I think it's on sale. You can get it like $10 when they have a good sale for like 70 or 80% off. But the DLC costs you anywhere from like $5 to $30 or $40, depending on whether you get it on sale or full price. This particular route, I got 50% off. Ooh, time limit penalty. For $20, so this particular route is normally $40. Next and last stop will be Summit, track 5 in 2.23 miles, track 3, excuse me. So this would have gone pretty well if not for that. Pretty well. I would have gotten like 500 points if not for that unexpected 45 mile an hour zone. Yes, the Alp 45 does have regenerative braking capabilities, as does the Alp 46. Excellent question. So you'll notice in the center of my HUD there, or if I zoom down to our, thingamajig here, we're currently in acceleration notch 5. Let's go all the way to notch full power. The notches that are to the top of our throttle are the regenerative braking. Dynamic braking. It doesn't have regenerative braking. Ah, yes. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have regenerative braking. My mistake. Which is, I'm sure, what you were actually asking, because I believe you know the difference between regenerative and dynamic brakes. The difference being that regenerative, it takes the electricity being generated by the motors and feeds it back into the electrical system, like into the overhead wires, in order to make you stop. Whereas with dynamics, you either put the electricity being generated across a big load to just waste it, you know, which still stops the train, or you feed it back into the motors in reverse in order to help slow them down. You shouldn't do that generally, though. Sorry, no, I'm lying about that. You don't feed the electricity in reverse. You should only do that at extremely low speeds to slow down, because you can break your motors that way. I remember reading a debate on whether that was actually used with dynamic braking, and the answer is no. You just basically turn the motor into a big piece of mechanical resistance by making it a generator instead of a motor. And we're speeding. I am concerned I'm coming down with a cold. I hope the answer is I'm not. Indeed. Indeed it would. Gotta get down for that 45 there before Summit. Looks like Summit's at the top of the hill according to the HUD. What a shock. Who'da thunk? Is there anything I didn't tell you about my trolley adventure? I don't think so. My trolley and subway adventure. Yeah, that is true. Well said, Pie Man. Is that your professional electrician / electrical engineering opinion? Oh, I think we have to get some super elevation screenshots going the other way now. Beautiful. Let's think about stopping as well. That's a good thing to do when you get to stations. This is the first time we're actually getting as far as Summit. Oh, I know Summit. Again, a little bit simplified. One of those tracks should be up higher. But I have been here many a time, and I actually recognize it from the game. That's the mark of when they've done a good job, I think, when you can actually recognize the places you've been in real life without, you know, as kind of the emotional, like, oh yeah, I feel like I've been there, instead of, oh yeah, looks roughly correct, you know. Let's get some more pressure in our brakes. Much more, please. Not handle off, though. We're gonna overhang the Loca. Only a little bit, though. Actually, we probably should have overhung it more. Yeah, a little bit more. Hello, ma'am. Oh well. Ladies and gentlemen, the station stop is Summit. If Summit is your final destination, this would be a great place to get off the train. If you're going as far as Dover or points in between, you will have to wait some time, because this train will be indefinitely parked until our driver gets a chance to drive it from here to Dover. However, for you people in the virtual world, it will be but a moment, as you will not be aware. Well done, all tests completed without any issues. Let's see how you did. Well, my score is negative 620, so that's clearly a complete fabrication. The SC44 actually uses regenerative braking for HEP. The ACS64 also uses regenerative braking for head-end power, oddly enough. So that's fun. The ACS64 and the SC44 actually share quite a bit, you know, beyond their Siemens roots. They share both mechanical and electrical characteristics. So we ended up getting negative 620, mostly because we did a whole bunch of speeding, 75 and a 45 and all that good stuff. We did a little bit of being late. Got a little bit more speeding, a little bit of emergency braking, really nothing too terrible. If it wasn't for that 45 and a 75, this would have gone much better. But it was a lot of fun. It went much better than the first time around when I got more like negative 4,000. In general, it was just a smoother run. Oh, and we also didn't fail the scenario because I accidentally failed to stop at a station, Short Hills, that I was supposed to stop at, because I weirdly got mixed up in the stop at and go via symbols. I feel like sleep generally helps with that, and I think I need some more of it tonight. So thank you all for joining me. I look forward to seeing you guys in my next stream and my next video, which will probably be sometime this week, most likely, sometime between tomorrow and, let's say, Friday, maybe. I will be doing part 2 of this run from Summit to Dover with the Alp 46 on the New Jersey Transit Morristown and Coastline route. If you have any questions about playing with trains and trolleys and subways, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer. I feel like I got through that whole saga with most of the details intact. There's a couple of photos on my Twitter if you're curious. That's twitter.com/KermMartian, all one word. Thank you guys on the stream for joining me. It's always fun to have you along. I appreciated your questions as we went and the companionship. And for those of you watching afterwards, thank you. Please, the usual YouTube things that people ask you to do. In any event, I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.